I want to start today with a riddle, or maybe it's more of a geography question.
Okay.
What is the greatest nation in the world?
Oh, boy.
And before you start, mentally scanning a map, checking GDP rankings, any of that, I'll give you a massive hint. It is not a geopolitical entity.
Aha.
It doesn't have borders. You don't need a passport. And the population is exactly one.
I see exactly where you're going with this. You're talking about the imagination.
I am indeed talking about the imagination. And look, I know how that sounds.
It sounds like a dad joke.
It sounds like a total dad joke or, something you'd see on a poster in a guidance counselor's office.
Right next to the kitten hanging from a tree branch that says, hang in there.
It totally does. But today, we're diving into a source that argues this isn't just wordplay. It's not fluffy motivation. We're looking at the architect of reality, harnessing your creative imagination.
And the central premise is, well, it's pretty startling.
It is. It argues that imagination isn't just child's play or daydreaming or escaping reality. It is, and I'm quoting the text directly here,
So on.
the most marvelous, miraculous, inconceivably powerful force the world has ever known.
It is a massive claim. And honestly, your first instinct is to kind of roll your eyes a little, isn't it?
Oh, for sure.
We dismiss imagination. You hear someone say, oh, he's just imagining things. And the implication is that it's not real, it's fake.
Right.
But this text, it's basically a mission to reclaim a lost faculty. It argues we're sitting on a superpower that we have actively forgotten how to use.
Or even worse, and this is the part that really grabbed me, we're using that superpower to destroy ourselves.
Right. That's the immediate problem it identifies. The author points out that the average person uses this inconceivably powerful force all day long.
Every single day.
But they've thrown the gear into reverse. They use their imagination to visualize problems that haven't happened yet. They visualize what they don't want.
Which, if we're being honest, is sort of the default setting for most of us, right?
I think so.
I mean, how much of your average Tuesday is spent mentally rehearsing an argument that might never happen?
Yeah.
Or stressing about a bill, imagining the worst?
Exactly. That is imagination at work. You're building a scene in your mind, feeling the emotion.
But destructively.
You're applying it destructively. So the mission of this deep dive is to figure out how to flip that switch. How to stop, and this line from the text really stuck with me, how to stop tiptoeing through life, hoping to make it safely to death.
Hoping to make it safely to death. That is such a grim image.
It is.
It implies this defensive crouch that lasts for 80 years. You're just trying not to get hit.
It's the ultimate tragedy of potential. So we want to move from that to learning how to act like the person you want to become.
Okay, but let's get into the evidence first. Because it's easy to say imagination creates reality. But the source tries to prove it, like right where you're sitting. It starts with a challenge. I think it's worth doing right now. So, to the listener, wherever you are, unless you're driving.
Please keep your eyes on the road if you're driving.
Yeah, please. But if you're in your office or your living room, just look around. Really look at the objects.
What do you see?
Okay, I'm playing along. I see the mic, the soundproofing foam on the walls, my laptop, a coffee mug. Typical stuff.
Okay, typical stuff. Now, think about the timeline. Go back 5 years, 10, maybe 25 years for some things.
Yeah.
The specific form of those things, it just didn't exist. They were raw materials, plastic, metal, silicon.
And here's the key insight.
Which is?
Every single one of those items, without exception, began as an invisible image.
In the mind of one individual.
It's one of those things that's so obvious once you say it, but we never stop to process it.
We just take the physical world for granted, like it was always here.
But someone had to essentially hallucinate the design of this microphone stand before a factory could build it.
Hallucinate is a strong word, but functionally, yes. They had to see something that wasn't there.
Hold an image.
And that's the critical distinction the source makes between constructive and destructive use. Most people use this faculty to project fear.
Imagining the car breaking down.
Or the meeting going badly. But successful people use it to, as the text says, go into the future and bring it into the present.
Go into the future and bring it into the present. That's a fascinating way to frame it. It sounds less like wishing and more like...
Time travel.
Yeah, mental time travel.
You're visiting a potential reality, looking at the blueprint and bringing it back to build it now. And the tragedy, according to our source, is that we didn't always need a manual for this.
We didn't need a deep dive to explain it.
No. We were all born masters of this.
Ah, yes. The glory days of being a toddler. Back when I was a genius.
Precisely. The text outlines this timeline of development that's actually kind of heartbreaking.
It is.
Ages 0 to 4, maybe 5. The gift is used perfectly. You watch a child playing. They're not just moving toys around.
Oh, absolutely not. A cardboard box isn't a box. It's a spaceship.
Yeah.
And they aren't pretending. They are in space. They are fully in a reality only they can see.
They are operating the faculty of imagination at an elite level.
Yeah.
And then what happens?
The school cliff.
The school cliff.
I felt that one personally. I was that kid staring out the window, looking at the clouds.
And what happens in that moment, the moment school starts, this faculty comes to what the author calls an abrupt halt.
Because the teacher says what?
Pay attention, stop daydreaming.
Look at the chalkboard.
Exactly. We rebrand exercising a phenomenal mental faculty as a behavioral problem. We call it not paying attention.
But the source says they were paying attention.
Just to something internal and creative, not external and rote. We train them to shut down that inner vision and focus entirely on the outer world.
And we teach them that the real world is only what you can touch and see.
Which sets us up for the rest of our lives. And this leads to the biological argument, which I found fascinating because it explains why we fall into this trap so easily.
This is the part where he compares us to his dogs.
Yes. And at first I was like, hey, wait a minute. But then I read it and I was like, okay, he has a point.
It sounds a little insulting.
A little, but stick with the logic. The author notes that he has these little dogs at home, and they have sensory factors.
See, hear, smell, taste, touch.
Right. And for a dog or any animal, those senses are strictly for survival.
It's all about corresponding with the material world.
It's a reactive loop. A dog smells a predator, it runs, it sees food, it eats, input in, reaction out, no pause.
Pure survival mode.
The problem, according to the source, is that most humans spend almost their entire lives operating on that same dog-like level.
Oof. That's a heavy critique. We think we're so sophisticated.
But he's arguing we're just reacting to the news, to our boss, to the number in our bank account.
We are puppets to our environment.
Precisely. Living in physical bodies, using animal senses, bank account is low, feel bad, sun is shining, feel good.
Yeah.
But we are the highest form of creation because we possess higher faculties.
The things that separate us from the animal kingdom.
And we usually ignore them.
Okay, so let's unpack these. If we're going to stop living like fancy dogs,
Sorry, Fido.
we need to know what tools are in the box.
The source lists them explicitly. Perception, the will, memory, intuition, reason, and of course the crown jewel.
Imagination.
Imagination.
But I want to zero in on one of them because it seems like the hardest one to master. The will.
And it's not what most people think it is.
Right. We think willpower is about, not eating the cookie.
No, not at all. The source defines the will as the ability to hold one idea on the screen of your mind to the exclusion of all outside distractions.
A dog can't do that.
A dog sees a squirrel, it's gone. A human can focus on an idea, but we rarely do. We let the senses win.
We look at our current results, lack of money, whatever it is, and we let that dictate our thoughts. We let the what is determine the what will be.
So we're trapped in a loop. We see reality, we think about that reality.
And then we create more of it. A self-fulfilling prophecy.
Exactly. And breaking that loop requires what the source calls the mechanics of reality creation. For this, he brings in a heavy hitter, William James from Harvard.
The father of American psychology. And his advice was surprisingly simple.
Simple to say, very hard to do, William James said. Act like the person you want to become.
Act like the person you want to become. I have to play devil's advocate here. It sounds a bit like fake it till you make it.
And that can feel a little dishonest or superficial.
Like I'm just putting on a costume.
I get that, but the source argues this goes much deeper. It's not about tricking other people.
It's about tricking your own nervous system.
Yes. It's using imagination to build a picture so clear and vivid that you override the present reality in your own mind,
Right.
which brings us to the single hardest instruction in the entire text.
I think I know what you're going to say. It's about ignoring what's happening now.
Yes. The author says, block out what's going on now. Do not let your present results have anything to do with the image you are building.
That is incredibly difficult. I mean, if you're broke, it's hard to block out the overdue notice on the counter.
Right. And to be clear, it's not suggesting you ignore physical danger or stop paying bills.
It's not about being delusional.
No. It's about emotional and creative focus. It takes immense mental discipline. That's why the will is so important. You have to have the will to focus on the image of how you want to live, regardless of the chaos happening around you.
You're denying the authority of the present moment to dictate your future.
That's a perfect way to put it.
It reminds me of the critique the source makes about the corporate world, the giant company with the tiny little creative department in the basement.
The corporate myth, yeah. It implies creativity is this specialized skill only a few people have.
The guys with the cool glasses and the sketch pads.
But the source insists that is a lie. Everyone is creative. No one is more creative than another by nature.
The only difference is that maybe 2 or 3% of people choose to use these faculties.
The rest of us just let them atrophy. We think creativity means painting, but here, creativity means building your life.
We have the tools. We just need to pick them up. But I want to get into the how of this. The text takes a turn into what I'd call the physics of thought.
It does. It gets really interesting here. It references a figure from the 1930s, a Russian photographer.
Semyon Kirlian.
Semyon Kirlian.
Kirlian photography. That's the images where leaves or hands look like they're glowing with an electric aura, right?
Exactly. Now, scientifically, this is often debated.
Skeptics say it's just moisture or temperature.
Right. But the source uses it to make a specific point. It describes this as photographing the energy glowing from a body, this creative, unadulterated power.
So the argument is that this isn't just static electricity. It's a visual of the life force flowing through us.
Yes. So for the sake of the argument, let's say we have this energy flowing in. How does that connect to me imagining a new car or a better career?
Okay, lay it out.
The text outlines a chain reaction. Step 1. Energy flows into your mind. It's neutral, raw potential. Like electricity, it can cook your dinner or it can kill you. It doesn't care.
Okay, neutral energy in.
Step 2. You use your imagination to build an image. That image gives the energy a shape. You're sculpting it.
Got it.
Step 3, and this is the crucial link, that image dictates the vibration of your body.
Vibration, that is a word that gets thrown around a lot. Good vibes. Raise your vibration.
It can feel a little woo-woo.
A little bit.
But the source grounds it in something very tangible, feeling. It says, vibration on a conscious level is perceived as feeling.
Okay, make that practical.
If you imagine disaster, getting fired, losing your home, your body moves into a vibration of fear, your chest tightens, your breathing gets shallow. That is a physical vibration. You can feel it.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. It's physiological, not mystical.
Exactly. Conversely, if you imagine success and joy, your body shifts into a different vibration, relaxation, excitement, and the source implies that this vibration is what attracts or creates your physical reality.
Because you act differently.
You act differently when you are vibrating with confidence versus vibrating with fear.
That's the key connection. It isn't magic. It changes your actions.
Yes. So the practical instruction, the daily practice, is to hold the picture to change the feeling. Exercise the imagination daily.
Not just on New Year's Eve.
No, daily. Build the beautiful image of how you want to live, and then here's the kicker, live that way. You have to hold the picture and let that feeling dictate your actions now.
Instead of waiting for your life to change before you allow yourself to feel good.
That's the trap.
It sounds exhausting, honestly. To hold a vision that contradicts what your eyes are seeing, it's like holding a heavy weight.
It is a workout. That's why so few people do it. But consider the alternative. Reacting to whatever random stuff happens to you, that's tiring too.
It's a passive kind of tired. The exhaustion of being a victim.
Exactly. This is active creation. And the source pivots near the end to a really profound idea. The invisible personality.
No one will ever really see you. That line gave me chills.
It's a striking thought, isn't it? We think people see us. They see our face, our clothes.
The results of our work.
But they never see the entity that is operating the machine. The real you is that invisible force operating the imagination.
Like we're the ghost in the machine of our own lives.
Yeah.
The body is just the vehicle.
In a way, yes. And the source says this invisible side is where the game is won or lost. If you keep this side active, life will get better. It says life can and will get better every day.
Which brings us back to that idea of value. The text basically calls us tragic figures if we don't use this. We're God's highest form of creation, and we just squander it.
It calls it a tragedy, to have the power to build anything and to use it to build nothing. Or worse, to use it to build anxiety.
It's like having a supercomputer and only using it to play solitaire.
Or to browse the spam folder.
So let's bring this all together. We've gone from looking around the room and realizing everything is made of thought to realizing we've been educated out of our superpower.
We compared ourselves to our dogs.
Sorry again, Fido.
And realized we're relying too much on our animal senses.
And we've learned the mechanism. Ignore current results.
Yeah.
Use the will to build the image. Let that image change your feeling.
And act like the person you want to become.
It's a shift from living from the outside in to living from the inside out.
That is the perfect summary. Most people let the outside world dictate their inside world. The architect of reality says, let your inside world dictate the outside.
I keep coming back to that phrase, tiptoeing safely to death. It's such a powerful, sad image.
It really is. It's the ultimate risk aversion strategy that guarantees you never really live. You just arrive at the end safely, a passenger.
So here's the question I want to leave you with today, and I want you to really sit with this after we're done. If your current reality, the room you're in, the job you have, is just a result of the images you held in your mind 5 years ago,
And if your future is entirely dependent on what you imagine right now,
what specific picture are you going to build the moment this deep dive ends?
are you going to worry about tomorrow? Or are you going to visit the future you want and bring it back with you?
The passport to the imagination is stamped and ready. You just have to decide where you're going. Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive. We'll see you next time.